Yo, what's up, Loud TV? It's AJ from Fire from the Gods. Peace. It's been fantastic. You know, this is our first tour as Fire from the Gods in Europe. So it's kind of like when we first started in the States and people didn't know the band, you know, and then we grew and there was this effect. You know, you can see the change from start of the set to the end of the set, and you can see how people's eyes kind of open up. They're like, who the fuck is this? You know, but then by the end of the set, everyone's pretty much having a decent and having a good time. So that's kind of been the reaction since we've been here from the start of the tour. But all in all, it's been a fantastic tour, and I think it's been successful for the band. I think we've really we came to do a mission, and we've sought out, and I think we've completed that mission, and that was to introduce the European crowds to what it's like to see Fire from the Gods live. Because yeah, plenty of people have heard the music, but you know, when something different translates when you play live. And I'm really proud of the boys, and we're proud of ourselves to even have finally made the step to do it. And I think it's been quite a success. You know, we have a really cool team behind us, really solid label, solid management, and everyone seems to really want to work together to make this happen. And the fact that, you know, again, touching on the fact that we're two guys of color, you know, that's also another huge, that seems to be a very huge achievement in itself. But, you know, we're not the first to do it. We're not the first guys of color to lead rock bands and stuff like that. But I think now in this day and age where the world is so much more culturally diverse and the world is getting smaller, and people are connecting on a whole different level, it's good to see that there is a lot more diversity, especially when it comes to women, or when it comes to people of color, or when it comes to a band from Mongolia, which the only thing, and to be completely honest, the only thing I know from Mongolia is their history of Genghis Khan and stuff like that. But to see these guys and the way that the delegates from Mongolia and the way that Mongolians across Europe have reacted to them and show their love for them, it's huge. And it's a testimony for what Fire from the Gods is about. We're about unity, we're about peace, we're about revolution through peace and revolution through understanding, you know, not revolution through violence, because the world has tried violence before, and the world has tried to separate and create boundaries and say that you can't do this because you're that, and you can't do this because you're that. But no one told them that they couldn't do it, you know what I'm saying? And they did it. No one told me that I couldn't be a black dude that leads a rock band, and I'm doing it. No one told Tommy you could be a man of color and lead a rock band. He's doing it. Or because you're from this part of the world, you can't do it. Fuck that. Those days are done. You know what I'm saying? It's about empathy. It's about understanding and respect for each other. And then we can all rise up together. Giving up in an auction. I'm not built to collapse. But I take what I'm given. I won't lay down and die. The most important thing about Zoe was when we first spoke, he made it very evident that he understood what Fire from the Gods was about. A lot of people, when we first came out, they didn't really get it. They didn't understand it. They kept saying, you're a political band, you're a political band, just lumping us into this category of being this political band. And okay, yes, we might make a political statement about certain things, and we might touch on things that are political, but we are not a political band per se, because I think there's something that's a little bit more important than politics, and it's humanity. And it's the community, as I've already touched on. And Zoltan understood that. And he said those exact words to me. And those were the exact words that I was saying to people about who the band was about. So for him to understand, without even meeting me ever, and just really just listening to the music, I knew that it meant we should be, yeah, this is the partnership that we need to make. And everything that has happened thus far has been incredible. We did an arena tour in the States. Like before, we would have never done an arena tour, you know, like, or that fast, you know, with 3 Days Grace and Bad Wolves and packed houses, playing to 10, 15,000 people per night. You know, it was incredible. And even still, our connection to the label got us on this tour. You know, so everything since us making that marriage with Zoltan has really worked out. And like you say, he has a nose for it, because I know he's working on a few others right now. So, you know, he's really, he knows what's up. And rock music took a bit of a nosedive for a long time. And some of the big bands are still doing it, putting out really good records. But Zoltan is really finding a way to not only revive the genre, but to give the genre a whole new life and a whole new meaning to another generation that can carry the torch. So, you know, I'm very grateful for his assistance and for working with him and what he's done for us. He knows this side of the business, you know, so that always, a lot gets lost in translation, because label guys, you know, they're in LA, or they're in New York, they're in London, they're in Germany, but I'm in the road, I'm in Warsaw, you know, in the rain, in the snow, you know, so he understands what that is, so he can be that bridge, you know, and again, it's like giving the genre a whole new life and whole new meaning.
Everything you need to be, I am the chosen, I am not your enemy, I am the one, I'm the American son, I am the refugee of the China tragedy.
I love Sevendust, and it's very apparent in our music that there's a Sevendust influence. We actually went on tour with Sevendust, and you know, those guys showed us so much love, man, you know, and seeing Lejeune live, you know, and being on tour with him and seeing everything that he's done, man, it was incredible. So maybe now, even in my older age, there's a lot more respect and love for Sevendust. So there's a lot more influence from Sevendust in the music. But touching on rap music and rap metal, so to speak, you know, I have this idea that the world feels that in order for rap and metal to come together, it has to be some sort of Rage Against the Machine kind of variant. It has to have that kind of that sort of sound, almost like if it sounds a little bit like Rage, then it must be good. You know why? Because Rage Against the Machine was the only band to really do it, you know, to do it well. You know, Limp Bizkit did it excellent as well. You know, Slipknot has themes of it, and other bands that have done it, they've done it well. But I think the pinnacle is Rage Against the Machine. We all know that they combined rap and rock and made something beautiful. So, but we wanted to kind of create our own lane and create our own history and leave our own legacy. So we didn't want it to be some sort of variant of Rage Against the Machine. We wanted to make it our own sound. So we took rock and the aspects of rock and heavy music that we love and combined it with the aspects of hip hop that we love and the aspects of R&B music that we love and the soul and the reggae vibes, and take all of our influences and stick it into one. So hopefully, you know, the idea of being this new metal band, rap band, it's, you know, it's whatever. We don't care. But the fact is, we just wanted to make really good music that sounded good to us, but also translated and meant something to the listener. The idea behind the lyrics, because the atmosphere, especially in the United States and across the world, to be honest, is a very politically charged atmosphere. Everyone seems to be on this climate change or not climate change, black or white, refugee, immigrants, you know, everything seems to be so polarized now, and we're at a point where we are at each other's throats, and the tension is building and the tension is rising, and it's not like the world hasn't seen this before. We've done this over and over and over again. When we get a little bit too, it's like kids in a playground. You get a little too bored, and then you want to start fighting, you know? So our lyrics and our music really talks, we really try to speak from the viewpoint of just normal human beings living your life every day, just trying to make it through, you know, because we are not sitting in these boardrooms and we're not sitting in these congresses across the world. We have these people, these lawmakers that seem to want to make these decisions for us. And the fact of the matter is, we have to unite and come together on a level changes the world and doesn't leave it in the hands of these madmen that have their fingers on the button, so to speak. We don't only want to touch on political ideas, it's really about humanity, because I feel that a better you, if you change yourself, you can change the people around you. And a better you is a better state, it's a better country, and ultimately it's a better world. So I'm not saying you don't have to find religion and become, you don't have to stop driving your cars. It's just start treating each other better. Start teaching our kids to treat each other better. Just take a time out of your day. Ask somebody, how you doing, man? You okay? Look after your friends. Don't all this hate and all this rhetoric. Try and understand someone's issue. I know we all have problems, and our problems sometimes can be insurmountable, but you have to at least understand that someone else is probably going through some rough shit too. And the politics, none of that matters at that point. It's just, hey man, are you okay? And if you look after each other, and if we start to, I know today I'm not going to change the world today, but I do know that maybe one day I might influence the next Nelson Mandela. I might influence the next world changer, the next person that really can take this mantle and take these words and this poetry that I've composed and that we have composed, my friends in my band. Someone will take that and maybe they can run with it and plant the tree. You plant that seed today and hopefully it grows and we reap the benefits of that, because survival of the human race, in my opinion, means more than the politics.
Them not like it when we talk them wet. Them not like it when we move them wet. Them rather see me locked down in a cage. Them rather see me take my life away. Yes.
Yeah, man, Sonny, we went on tour with POD a few years ago, and it was still while we were on the other record. We were still touring on Narrative, and I knew that there was a reggae connection with POD. There was a reggae vibe, but I didn't know that Sonny and those guys were so deep and understood like Jamaican culture and reggae culture, So we vibed so heavy on that tour. We were talking about it, and we were like, man, I'd love for you to do something. And the opportunity arose because our management knew Sonny. So we wrote the song. I did my parts, and he came in and did his parts because we had to leave. I had to go back to Texas to get my kid. So he had to, he came in the studio, but we like FaceTimed and stuff like that. And I was watching him while he was doing it, and he did an incredible job. I mean, he's an OG, you know what I'm saying? He's an OG, like, what is it? He's just he's a legend, man. So he came out and did his thing, man, and I appreciate that dude and what he had to say. I was like, yo, man, I wanted to go back and do my verse again because he did so well, you know what I'm saying? But big up POD and big up Sonny, man. I love you, brother. Thank you for doing that, man. And people seem to really love that song too, man. So they don't like it.